Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new landscape photography vlog. Here we are at Letchworth State Park. It's almost 8 in the morning on a very cold and rainy January day, and as you can probably tell behind me, conditions are pretty incredible right now. We've got a lot of fog, and we've also had a ton of snow melt recently and rainfall to go with it, which means the presence of several seasonal waterfalls all around the park. And right behind me, actually, I don't know how well you guys can see it right now. I might have to get some B-roll a bit later on. We have some of the rarer seasonal falls flowing. We have the eldest stepsister cascade, the youngest stepsister cascade, and the Cinderella cascade all flowing along that gorge wall back there. And you really only can see them after we have gotten what we've gotten, which is a lot of snow, which rapidly then melts. You're pretty much not going to get them otherwise. Now, admittedly, this is my first time ever seeing these in person. Before, I've only seen photos occasionally, but that's pretty much about it. And I didn't really think they'd look that cool, but they really, really do look very, very cool. I don't think the stepmother cascade, though, is flowing from what I can see, and to be fair, I really can't see much right now. The fog just keeps getting thicker and thicker, which I can't complain about. Makes getting detail shots really, really easy, which, by the way, that's going to be the name of the game today, is just detail, detail, detail. I've got the 24-200 on, and so far I've already gotten some really, really nice things that I'm pretty happy with just right off the back of the camera. And I'll go ahead and show a few of those really quickly just up on the screen so you guys can see. And I mean, just everywhere I look right now, I see something that I can just pick out with the long lens. And I guess that's one kind of topic we could talk about today, was like, if you don't have a long lens, why you maybe should probably invest in getting one. I have a long lens, it's 24-200, like I said. It's not the greatest lens in the world, it's not the sharpest lens in the world, or the fastest, but it gets the job done. And just kind of show you guys how I put a lens like that to use on a day like today. And I'm sure there's some wide angle stuff we could probably get, but will it look as good as the telephoto stuff? You know, to be determined, but I think it'll probably look a little bit better than the wide angle stuff. So I'm going to try to vlog as much as I can. It might be intermittent because of the rain, which I'm not really worried about my camera getting wet, more so just the microphone, which I have actually on underneath the raincoat, because it's got this little magnet set up using the DJI lav mic, so I'd recommend it to anybody who's looking for one of these, which is really helpful on a day like today. But we've got a lot to check out, and I really don't even know where to begin. You can't even see the waterfalls now. You can't even see them. I picked a great time to start filming. Like literally 5 minutes before I started filming, you could see them, but now you can't see anything now. Alright, quick update. It's been about 20 minutes or so since I last talked to you guys. The rain, you know, it's still here. It's a light drizzle, I'd say, but the fog has kicked up immensely. Like, I can't even see across the gorge right now. I can't even see details on this closest gorge wall right here. There's like a stand of, you know, some pine trees or hemlocks. I'm not sure what they are, but I can't even see them from here, right? And they're probably maybe 100 feet away. I also can't even see my car where I parked it. Like, that's how thick it's getting. But it's making for some really incredible conditions, and it's just making certain compositions pop out that were not possible maybe 10-15 minutes ago. And I'm going to try and act on some of them while I can, because some of them just aren't going to work without the fog being this thick. One being in particular this small little tree over here. You can't really see anything behind it, and that's going to be perfect for the shot. So I'm going to actually go ahead and grab that real quick before the fog moves out of the way. So hopefully you guys can see this small little tree up here, you can kind of make out faint details behind it, but literally maybe 3 minutes ago, you could not see anything behind it. And this was the resulting photograph. And as you can see, just comparing the photo to how it looks here on video with the current conditions of the fog, you know, the kind of ebb and flow that it has, you know, it doesn't really look too great. It stands out a lot more when you can really just see that small tree behind it. I mean, right now, honestly, it probably wouldn't look too bad, but I really like the way it looked beforehand when you could literally see just the tree. And I also grabbed this photo while setting up for the other photo, which I think looks really, really good. It has the trail as a nice leading line, the bench, and of course all the trees to go with it. So, a shot within a shot, right? We're going to be doing a lot of that today, I feel like. Just, I mean, literally everywhere you look, there's something. There's just something good just to poke out and grab. So it is currently about 9:15 in the morning, and thankfully the fog has not decided to go anywhere. It is still lingering pretty much all around me everywhere I look, and it's just an absolute blast to be out here right now. I've been having so much fun just getting random little woodland compositions that I've been seeing while walking around. Sure, I can't see across the gorge right now, but honestly don't even care because I'm having so much more fun photographing these trees and these small little detail scenes than I would photographing that. Not that I don't like it, it's just I've photographed it so many times, and it always feels great to just grab something completely new, take on a completely different perspective, and yeah, it just feels refreshing. I really don't know what else to say. And even as I'm standing here recording this, I'm just seeing things popping out as the wind kind of comes in and moves the fog around and places it in different areas, right? And it's just so much fun. So I want to go ahead and show you guys really quickly a couple of the images that I've taken so far leading up to this point. Right now the plan is to maybe snipe out a few more compositions one I see literally right behind the camera right now, directly behind it. And then we're going to go check out Trail 2, which is down in the south end of the park. I've never been there before. Another recommendation from the walking encyclopedia himself. And I'm honestly excited to check it out because just, again, it's something I haven't seen before. And yeah, that's really what I'm after. I just want to see things, be in places that I haven't been in before, and just check them out and really try to add new things to my portfolio. And I think that's just beneficial all around. If you really want to try to work on that, I think the best thing you can try to do is, if you've already improved on some of your favorite stuff, try it again. Just find something new. Doesn't matter what it is. Just get out and try something new. Successfully made it to trail number 3, a place that I've never ever been before, and I believe this also connects to trails 2A and 2, so we'll be hitting all of those, time depending. We'll see how long it takes me to get through here. Obviously I'm going to be stopping a lot to take photos, but speaking of photos, this giant tree behind me here, which unfortunately, well actually no, I think it is alive. I was going to say unfortunately it's dead, but I believe it's alive. It looks like a big, beautiful oak of some kind. And I'm going to frame up a shot here very similar to what you see on the video right now. I'm going to try to use the trail as a leading line a little bit and place this on the right third of the frame. And you know it's promising when you walk maybe 100 feet or so into the trail and you already see something like this. More of this is what I want to see. Also, when I was driving here in between like the main visitor center and Inspiration Point, I saw a huge hawk fly across the road, and I stopped to try to see if I could see him up in a branch somewhere because I had my camera right next to me, sort of like drying off. And unfortunately, by the time I slowed down, came to a stop, he had kind of caught on what I was trying to do, and he flew off. So unlucky. One of these days we'll come here strictly for wildlife. But we're going to need a bit longer of a lens for that. But, yeah, conditions are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, as expected, I was going to be stopping a lot and didn't get maybe a couple 100 feet up the trail before I found this. Now, I wanted to talk about this particular composition here just because something interesting happened while I was framing it up. And it was a good thing, right? And I want to talk about how maybe you guys can apply this to your stuff, right? Now, this tree over here, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a really nice looking tree here. The trunks are very curvy. It's got some nice moss on it. It just looks really good in the foggy background. And at first I thought I might want to photograph it with just this trail kind of leading up to it. It's got some nice green grass still, the non-native cool season grasses, unfortunately, but next to, all of the dead brush and wildflowers on either side, it creates a nice contrast. And with the green grass, it would stand out, make a good leading line, all that basic stuff, right? But then I noticed this tree here and how it has this branch here. I think this is a honey locust tree, although I could be wrong. But this tree here kind of arches over the trail, and this branch here kind of almost seemingly connects or points to this tree. So at first I thought, maybe I just want to photograph that tree down there because it looks really, really nice. But I kind of stopped for a second and scanned the entire scene, only to find out that not cropping in super far, taking advantage of the telephoto, and including this tree here on the left to kind of balance the frame a little bit, ended up being a lot nicer. So let's take a look at the finished result. Man, oh man, where do I even begin? I don't know. I'm just blown away by everything I'm seeing right now. The rain is still holding, which, I mean, it's whatever at this point. I've already been out here for maybe coming on 3 hours at this point. So it is what it is. But this behind me, this is what I wanted to stop and show you guys really quickly. This amazing find. This uprooted and fallen tree here, which has just got some amazing moss and mushrooms growing out of the side of it. And it kind of has a really nice shape to it. I don't know how well you guys can see it behind me. Hopefully I framed it up well enough. But it's got this nice kind of arc to it. And the branches that still had some marcest leaves on it are creating some really nice color up in the canopy right above the trail itself. So I experimented with a couple different angles where I got really close to the trunk here and used it as a leading line as it kind of arcs and twists through the frame. And I also did a 3 or 4 step focus stack on it because how could you not focus stack something like that? The trunk itself has so much texture on it with the moss, so I had to do a focus stack, and at f8 it should be pretty sharp, so hopefully putting that together isn't going to be too much of a nightmare, because dealing with that kind of stuff usually is pretty tough. This is a really good find. This is one of those reasons why after storms, you can kind of come back to trails like this and check out and see what's changed, right? Are there going to be any new fallen trees? Because you might get something like this. Although this probably has been down for a little while considering how much has been growing on the side of it. But it looks fantastic, and it's just one of those things you might walk past on the trail, and it's a really great thing to be able to stop and admire. So just wanted to talk about that really quick. Alright, so here we are just a little ways away from that down tree I was talking to you guys at last. I ended up kind of veering off the main trail through like a skiing trail, I think it is. I'm not really sure, but I found myself in front of this small little pond. Now, this is not Trout Pond, I believe. I think I drove by Trout Pond on the way to the Trail 3 trailhead, which I might stop at on the way back. But this, whatever this place is called, is absolutely magical right now under these conditions. I cannot describe it any other way. This has to be probably my favorite photography outing since I've gotten back into photography. I'm not even joking. This is the scenery paired with the atmosphere that we have right now is insane. Like, I am a big enjoyer of fire sky sunsets and sunrises, and I have been for a long time. But I think I enjoy this more, hands down. And if you're the other way around, if you're still one of those people that prefers the fire skies and the sunsets and the sunrises, that's completely fine, but maybe you need to have a few more outings like this, and maybe you'll change your mind, because this is just incredible. Now, the photographer I was talking to earlier, who was kind of, giving me directions to even get here, telling me about the land here, this particular area, he did say there was a ton of red pines, and he was not kidding. I am absolutely surrounded by red pine right now, and its bark is absolutely coming to life with all sorts of amazing color and texture when you pair it with the rain. It looks so good, and I'll try to show one or two of the photos. Actually, I'll show you guys the self-portrait I took, just because I thought it would kind of look cool for scale. But you can kind of see just how many of them there are, and this whole pond seems to be surrounded by them right now, which is really, really cool. And also, down here at my feet, there's also a ton of saplings from what I can only presume to either be red pine or possibly hemlock, as I do see a few hemlocks here and there. You can tell the difference between the hemlock and the red pine just because the red pine, as the bark would suggest, or the name would suggest, the bark is very red. The hemlocks have a much more darker, almost burned look in, these rainy conditions. The bark looks like it's been scorched by fire. So I actually took another shot of it kind of singled out by all the other red pines around, and I think that looks really, really cool as well. But I'm just content with staying here right now and just kind of walking around this little area, following this trail down here, see where it goes before we actually keep moving on. Because, I'm not even on the main trail anymore. I kind of veered off to it just because I saw the pond kind of as I crested the hill a little bit to take that self-portrait. I kind of little spoiler alert, right? That's kind of what happened. But yeah, I also hope the audio, side note, I hope the audio is good, because I have to have the microphone underneath this this raincoat. So hopefully I'm talking loud enough and it's picking my voice up clearly. It might sound a little muffled. But small price to pay. So I don't have to buy a new microphone. But yeah, all this detail here, these mosses, these small saplings, just so much going on. And there's still a little bit of ice on the lake. It's probably not going to last much longer if the temperatures don't get back below freezing in the next couple days. So this is definitely a very short-lived site right now. And I'm gonna have so many photos from this trip, it's not even gonna be funny. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to put all the photos I take into this vlog. I'm just gonna have to put in whichever ones I edit first, otherwise this video will never get done because it'll take so long to get the video edited, then the photos. But I'm rambling. We got more photos to take, we got more trail to check out. Let's go do that. So it is currently about 11:30 and the fog looks like it has receded from this particular area, although I have still seen it off in the distance in other directions. So I'm going to continue this trail on here. There also is a nice little creek that kind of runs through here. I might grab a photo of it before I get out of here, but I think the plan right now is going to be to basically just hike back to the car and just pretty much call it a day there. Believe me, I could shoot in these conditions all day, but I still have like an hour and a half drive ahead of me back home, and I'd like to be able to do other things today and not be completely exhausted because I didn't really get that much sleep. And I've been here again since about 7:15 in the morning, so 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably be here for 5 hours hiking, but it'll be definitely worth it for all the photos we got today, that's for sure. And yeah, I didn't even know this was a part of this trail here, but there's a little tiny bridge over there, and just walked right across that, and this little stream goes right underneath it. And I imagine you could probably get down to it pretty easily if you walked across here and then kind of walked down. You could probably get down in there pretty easily, get right at the water level and shoot it. But I'd want a polarizer for that, and I don't have a polarizer that fits this lens yet. I still need to do that. It's on the list. I just keep forgetting about it. So this trip, like all good things, has unfortunately come to an end. That was amazing, and I am beyond excited to edit and share these photos. Of course, they will all be available to purchase as prints or whatever medium you prefer on my website down in the description. If that interests you and you want to support me as a photographer, that's definitely a great way to do it. Otherwise, just sharing things around, whether it be my posts on Facebook and Instagram or my YouTube videos, it's all greatly appreciated. But I was getting to the end of Trail 2A where it meets Trail 2, and I checked the map on my phone on all trails, and I was like, I got a long way to go, and this doesn't loop back to this parking lot at all. So I just decided that I would cut my losses and just hike all the way back in the quickest, most efficient way possible, because my feet are starting to hurt a little bit wearing these boots for as long as I've been wearing them. They're great boots, but just not for very long. But yeah, it's about 7:15. Kind of got back when I would expect it to, so I've been here about 5 hours, give or take. And yeah, ton of fun. I'm definitely gonna miss this trip, and it's gonna be one for the books for sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and all the photos I shared with you along the way. And again, if you're interested in picking up one of the photos as a print, link to my website down below. Greatly appreciate it in advance if you do pick something up. And we'll see you guys around.